Philadelphia sports makes me depressed.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coconut Curry Podcast, a place where just three guys are talking about sports and trying to offer an interesting take on it. We're also two depressed Phillies fans at the current moment, but we are really happy Eagles fans, and Peter is just down bad in sports.
No, I'm an Eagles fan now. So
No.
No.
Says who?
You signed a bonding contract for a year. You can't just back out of it. You are a 49ers fan.
Do you want to start talking?
I will get it notarized.
Okay, that's straight up illegal.
Get it notarized.
Like I said, if you're new around here, we're just three guys talking sports. We go to the school at the University of Pittsburgh, and we cover all sports from baseball, basketball, football, especially football right now. And we try to do some fun things along the way. If you stick around so far, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, watch the whole video through. It helps us out a lot as we continue podcasting while in college. Big setup today. You won't see, but we have actually have a tripod.
Yes, a little bit of like behind baseball right here. So for anybody wondering, the chairs we're currently sitting in, we have one extra one. And for the entirety of our podcast, we had that chair and then a couple of random boxes that did change every once in a while of just random.
And we'd always have to figure out how to like restack it.
Yes, how to like stack it up, and then had a very small tripod to set my phone up to use as a camera, even though tripods are like $15 on Amazon.
And you could make the argument that's like, okay, you're just trying to save a lot of funds on the podcast, but we bought all new microphones.
We bought the new mics, we got the mixer, we got everything.
What we decided to compensate on was the tripod that was continually giving us problems, and we had very little like maneuverability, adjustability on the setup. But now we actually have some, which is cool. So
hopefully it looks a little bit better.
I hope we're framed perfectly. And if you hate it, just don't dislike the video. Just leave a comment.
Just please tell us that we should go back to the boxes.
If you're really that one person that's disliking our video and we don't have any other likes, like that's just so disrespectful.
Like, come on, man. Like,
do better.
Do better.
Anyway, hopping right into the MLB news. Transparently, this is probably going to be the last time we talk about the MLB because truthfully,
until the MLB postseason comes around again.
Yeah, until the postseason comes around next year. But Phillies lose Game 7 to the Diamondbacks in what I would probably call the most depressing moment I've had in my sports watching history. The Phillies go up 3-2, head back to Citizens Bank Park, a place where they were very hard to beat in the last two postseasons, and they lost both games in kind of bad fashion, and it's rough out here, Raj.
I don't understand. It all went downhill after Game 4 when we put Craig Kimbrell in the game. And a message to Kimbrell: retire, bro. Your career's over. No one wants you after that show. We're going to have to bleep that. But
that's fine.
An absolute terrible performance on the mound. What was it? Bottom of the eighth. We're up by 2 runs in Game 4. All you had to do was close out the inning. We're going to put in Alvarado, and we would have had 3 games already up on them, and we would have been fine, and we would have been dancing in the World Series right now. But no, you decided to go out there, screw it all up for us, and it went all downhill from there. We did win Game 5, and we were up 3-2. We head back to the bank, and we're like, hey, we're undefeated at home. We're great at home.
As bad as everything was in Game 3 or 4 and 5, because none of those were really like dominant games, you felt like being up 3-2 going back to Citizens Bank Park. You had Nola and Ranger going to go up onto the bump. Like both those games, you were like, okay, like
they're gonna win.
It's gonna be a 6-7 game series, but like they'll get it done at the end of the day. And that was the hardest part. Was just every Phillies fan and even any baseball fan was like, yeah, they're going back to Citizens Bank Park. Like this series is over.
Yeah, I think one of the things that was probably the most damning was, wasn't it? It was Schwarber, Harper, and Castellanos were 1 for 27.
And Trey Turner.
And Trey Turner were all 1 for 27 in games 6 and 7.
Yep.
Like that's unacceptable.
That is.
Yeah. And I mean, what happened in the series was the first 2 games we were doing good on our hitting. Mm-hmm. And even despite all the pitching debacles that had happened, truly the Phillies lost the series because they couldn't hit the ball.
Yep.
Castellanos was one of 18, or he was dreadful the entire series. Like he barely hit the ball during that entire series. Rojas couldn't hit a ball to save his life. He had 1 triple that was kind of irrelevant because I think it happened in the game that we like
I think that was when you were blowing them.
I think in Game 2 when we won like 11-1, that's when he hit the triple. So like, I know he hit the triple, but like hits matter. He never hit the ball at all. Trey Turner started chasing pitches again, and simply like the bats didn't come to play, and that put a lot of pressure on the bullpen. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, like you have to score runs in baseball. It's a more friendly league for scoring now anyway. So you have to put the runs on the plate, and that's what the Phillies didn't do. There was constantly situations. I remember, I think it was in Game 7, we had Kyle Schwarber on second with no outs, and because with one out and no outs one time, and we couldn't get that guy around the bases and get a run in, and one run matters a lot, and that's what happened to the Phillies. Again, the bullpen pitching didn't help a ton, but especially in Game 4 and Game 3, but at the end of the day, the Phillies had them kind of right where they wanted them. They needed to win 1 out of 2 games at home to go to the World Series, and they didn't get it done.
That one hurts. That one hurts,
yeah,
boys.
It hurts a lot, and I think that's why it's like one of the roughest moments. Like when we lost the Super Bowl last year as Eagles fans, it was like we were playing a good opponent. We had some mistakes that happened. So did the Chiefs. It was a really good football. It was a really good Super Bowl. The better team, you could say, won the game, and you live with that in sports sometimes. But it very much felt like the Phillies just completely crumbled under the pressure, and there was no reason for them to be in that situation, because you could have made a very easy argument that we should have won that series in 4 or 5 games, nonetheless losing 7.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing else to say anymore, honestly. Like, this team, the postseason was great up until Game 4. Then after that, I started having doubts. And then I remember the Brewers curse, and I started remembering, like...
Would you like to elaborate to everyone what the Brewers curse is?
So the Brewers curse is that any team that beats the Brewers in the playoffs end up winning the World Series.
Or I think it's making the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was winning. I think a couple of them didn't win.
But still. Yeah. So basically, I mean, the thought was in the back of my head, but like, you know, it's just like, oh, these like, it's just random statistics. So it's like, you don't have to believe them all the time. So I didn't believe it. I mean, we won like what, 11-1 in Game 2. We looked unstoppable. And then, you know, even when we went back to the bank, Game 6 and 7, okay, Nola's been pitching lights out. It'll be okay. Nope. We got regular season Nola. November came early for him, I guess. And then Ranger, he put up a respectable fight, but the bats never came through, and there was nothing we could do. And I mean, with the lineup and everything, we didn't switch any batters up. We didn't try to like do anything.
Yeah, I think, and I was going to mention this. I think where the Phillies really lost the series, truthfully, was managing. At the end of the day, your batters do it to hit, and I will give Rob Thompson like a little bit of a pass here. That, I mean, your big money guys didn't show up to hit the baseball in the last couple of games, but there's also just glaring issues that happened throughout the series. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He let Rojas hit the ball in Game 6. I think it was Game 6, maybe Game 7.
Game 6.
Yeah, Game 6. Bases loaded.
Oh wait, no, that was Game 7.
Yeah, one of the two. It was a closeout game. Bases loaded. You let Rojas come up, and you could argue that other people have not been pinch hitting all series, and that you're a little bit nervous about putting them in. But your job as a manager is to make sure those pinch hitters are ready, because Rojas again is batting like 0.05. He's batting 5%. For the entire, so you're essentially saying that he has a 5% chance to get a run, 1 or 2 runs in, which is just abysmal. So you got to get another guy up there at that point to at least put pressure on the Diamondbacks that they don't know how he's going to swing, or they don't know how talented he is or whatnot. But they didn't make that switch there. Rojas again consistently played the entire series at batting. They never really pinch hit him, and he was horrible. He was pretty much just like, it was kind of like before the MLB changed their rules. And you had to have the pitcher bat, and you kind of just always felt like, oh, the pitcher's gonna like
exactly
is gonna do terrible. That's what it felt like when Rojas was up, and yeah, like the bullpen moves were interesting. Everyone knew Kimbrel didn't have it. I remember in Game 4 when Kimbrel blew it, the reason it all started was because Hoffman comes in at inning 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So you have your second best pitcher in the bullpen at the time come into the game really early to kind of get Sanchez out of a mix that he wasn't really. He only had let up 1 or 2 runs, and he was in a okay. Like, I didn't even think you needed to pull Sanchez. I was okay with the decision, but then you bring in Hoffman, which is one of your best bullpen guys, which leaves Craig stranded to pitch because you didn't have any other bullpen support. I mean, we were running on fumes those games with our bullpen because we just used them so early and often, and Craig had kind of fumbled the bag. So, just an interesting series. I mean, I'm hoping next year will be better. I mean, I'll still like for the baseball's a very unpredictable sport, and that's what you can determine from like the Mets season that they had 100 wins and they didn't even make the playoffs. So I'm not going to consider the entire season a waste or anything. I think it was still a great season from the Phillies to get almost back to the World Series. It's really very hard to do that. Even like the Astros, like both Astros and Phillies weren't able to do it, and they both gave up a respectable fight. So not going to call the season a waste at all. They still got a lot of potential next year, but it definitely stings a little bit when you lose in that type of fashion.
Yeah.
And then quickly just touching on Astros Rangers, as tied 1-1 in the World Series, has actually been like a very like
Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks. What did I say?
Astros.
Oh,
You said
Astros. Yeah.
Rangers.
Bleh. Oh, I typed that too. That's why. Yeah, Diamondbacks and Rangers are tied 1-1 in the World Series. Very interesting series so far. The first game goes into overtime. Crazy Adolis Garcia. Garcia has a crazy like just batting. He's hitting grand slams and all.
He's
this kind of
having
stuff.
like genuinely one of the best stretches of like
Mhm.
postseason
Yeah.
hitting. Like
He's just
ever.
always hitting. And then Diamondbacks just rolled over the Rangers in game 2.
Yep.
So very interesting game 3 tonight, which is recording is on Monday. So you'll see this on Tuesday. It's a very interesting game happening tonight, our time. It's already happened in your time. But I think the series is fun. I'm not really watching it a ton, to be honest with you. Kind of just like feel like
Taking the
baseball
L,
games are
yeah.
hard to watch when
If you don't
you're
really
when you
care.
don't have a
Yeah.
big rooting interest, especially as we've discussed at length in other podcasts, and there's so many other sports going on. It's just
It's hard to care.
It's very
Mhm.
difficult. It's very hard to care. So that's our MLB news, and that might be the end of the MLB news unless like Shohei Ohtani gets traded
Yeah,
or
unless there's any like big things that happen in the
Yeah,
offseason.
but maybe we'll touch on it whenever we get the victor of that series. But I mean, I'm happy with the steps baseball took this season. So
I think overall this has been a pretty successful season for
Mhm.
baseball.
yeah. I think across the league, viewership has been up, and people are just more invested in the
Yeah.
sport.
And then also, I think this is the first time since like 2016 or something that the finals don't include either the Dodgers or the Astros.
Yeah,
And I think that is good for baseball because it's like, okay, it changes it up.
it is also
like-
good for baseball in a sense that the Phillies are not in. They'd get higher viewership, but also it gives some other franchises reason to go around their team. Like your Phillies fans are always going to be there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
They're
they
gonna-
will turn out. You don't have to.
Same
worry
thing with
about
Astros fans. They'll be there.
Yep.
To get these two teams kind of involved, hopefully it bolsters like the franchise a
it.
little
Smaller
bit.
market teams, like
and everything like that. So great season for baseball. Good job, guys.
good job.
Paving the way for
Yay.
future of sports.
That's probably the first time we said good job baseball like ever.
I know.
But good job.
Well done.
It's still pain.
Moving on to the NBA, we had the first week of basketball happen, which is super exciting because I love basketball. Right now everything is like new, so it's not like we're not making any like conclusions about team. I did want to note though, everything's going as expected for most teams. The Grizzlies, however, are 0-3, which is like sort of a big deal because every year the West comes down to a few games for certain spots, and the play-in games are tight, and you really need to get a top 6 seed to avoid that. Being down 3 games already is pretty tough because now they're gonna have to find a way to make those games up, and those 3 games, I promise you, towards the end of the season, they're gonna matter.
Isn't Ja Wick suspended?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still
Jaws
suspended.
expanded. Yeah, but the hope is that you're still making the playoffs without him in the lineup because you're just going to waste the year. Like if he's
Yeah, because
suspended
you
25
can't
games.
you can't lose 25
Mhm.
games and expect to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
like
like-
off rip.
Because if you go 10-15, maybe that is okay enough, but you're going to have a really
But
good
then
second
what?
half.
Are you going undefeated the rest of the
Yeah,
season?
you're going to have a really good postseason. And again, the West is really stacked. So being 0-3 is a pretty big deal. It stinks to say that if this is the Eastern Conference, you wouldn't care at all,
Mhm.
but it's not. So they need to kind of step it up a little bit, especially if they want to get into the postseason. Again, that could be a trade target team where they're trying to find a player to get into the lineup where I'm not saying like James Harden, but a guy like James Harden where you can just get him in the lineup to try to like salvage the season.
Because you just like know he's good.
Because you can make the argument, okay, Grizzlies, take your medicine this season, lose, just improve the team, and then go again next year. But that's not how organizations think when they have like playoff money and
Yeah.
playoff revenue on the
Yeah.
line, especially when a team as talented as the Grizzlies. So it'll be curious to see how they go. Tyrese Maxey and Nikola Jokic, one player of the week. And a name that will be in that list that doesn't sound like a player of the week person is Tyrese Maxey because he's been God for the Sixers so
Mhm.
far.
I've seen enough. Build a team around him and Kelly Oubre.
You just got your Kelly Oubre bit in.
Yeah.
There we go.
Um,
I'm telling you, Kelly Oubre may win Sixth
yeah.
Man of the Year. He's been playing pretty well off the bench. I don't miss James Harden at all. Hell, I never missed him, to be honest.
Quickly a note on Tyrese Maxey and Nikola Jokic. And Nikola Jokic is having a great season. I am very sick and tired though of the whole like thing that like, oh, he doesn't care about basketball that much. Where it's his 9 to 5.
It is his
and,
9
like,
to 5.
Every time I'm just sick of hearing it.
He'd rather go. He's looking to buy new horses and
Well,
dominate.
because is it true? Yeah, but I think it's just like they're running it the bit into the ground
Yeah.
a little bit at this
I
point.
also give him a little bit of like, bro, stop talking about how like this is your 9 to 5 and you don't really care that much. Like there are people who would kill to be in NBA. I would just treat it a little bit more like seriously.
he got the job off Wish.com.
It's just it's so
Or Indeed.
oversaturated. It's like he's on the bench with Jamal, during training camp. He's like, I'm trying to buy a racehorse right now, or I'm scouting
And
racehorses.
he's like, wait, how many horses do you have? Like, 13.
Yeah, and then like during interviews, he's like, honestly, like I just showed up or whatnot. I'm like, I know you didn't just show up this season. Like you were training in the off season. Like stop. He makes it sound like he just like drank alcohol and ate whatever he wanted all off season and didn't work out.
I mean,
Do we have any evidence that he didn't?
he is in Serbia.
I
We don't
mean,
know.
if he does, he needs to enroll in like scientific studies.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something to
yeah,
figure
yeah.
out why he's so damn good at basketball.
Yeah.
Because again,
His brain needs to be studied.
Yeah.
because again, he's been excellent since he got back, and the Nuggets look really good. And Tyrese Maxey, just a great. A lot of people thought he would break out this year, but just to have the start to the season he's having, he is so efficient from behind the arc. Like,
Yeah.
he shoots so well from behind the arc, and I can't speak enough highly about how Tyrese Maxey's handled, especially with James Harden being out. Like to be that good,
Yeah.
and lead the Sixers. But I did want to talk about the Sixers drama a little bit, as we kind of talked about a little bit with James Harden. It's just
Fat suit Harden.
part of the like if we walk through the saga a little bit for everyone who's not familiar, James Harden requests a trade in the offseason, and he's pretty much like, I will never play for Daryl Morey again. And I was like, oh,
The
okay.
GM, by the way.
Yeah, the GM of the Sixers. And it was like, oh wow, okay, because like Daryl and James were like supposed to be buds. So then nothing kind of happened. They didn't find any trade partners. Then he like didn't show up to training camp for a few days. But then he said it was because of personal matters, and he was in Houston, I think where his family was. So maybe like something, maybe he had, like some reports that he had to take care of his mom or whatever. So there was something about that. Then he comes back to the team and is ready to board the flight
And
to
they
go to Milwaukee.
No.
Yeah, great Mutombo reference.
No, not
And-
today.
And they pretty much are telling him you can't board the flight.
Yeah.
So then he stays home and works. He works out. He tries to get into better shape. Then he's on the bench for the game yesterday or 2 days
That was
ago,
a bad look.
I
Yeah.
believe. And then fans were like had bad signs and everything. So now he's like there. Other teams don't really want him. It's kind of awkward. I just think the Sixers should just wait to trade him. Don't ever play him there in your lineup. Your team feels fun and full of life right now.
Don't screw that
Even
up.
if you're not good enough, like the Sixers right now, as presently constructed without James Harden, are not going to win a championship. But I don't care. I'd rather the vibes be good. And even if you have to trade him for pennies on the dollar, get a good rotation player or two. Hope that Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid take the leap. Work with the guys you got. I mean, I think the Sixers had a great offseason. Getting a guy like Kelly Oubre, I know Kelly Oubre is a meme player. And everything
Whoa,
like that.
whoa.
For the price you got him on, I know. Save your love. I'm sorry, it's your lover. I
For Kelly Oubre,
apologize.
you got to calm down.
But calm down. Kelly Oubre is a really good bench player. He definitely he got snubbed in the market just because no teams had money to pay him.
Yeah.
And the Sixers scooped in and gave him a deal, and he looks good because Kelly Oubre is a good player. He looks good on and off the court. And all that kind of stuff. So if you don't get the Kelly Oubre jokes, go look him up on your own time. But
He's attractive.
Very, very attractive.
All right, settle down.
and that's enough over there.
No drooling over here.
Time to move on to the NFL.
Yes.
NFL Week 8 is
Yes.
almost completed besides from, again, today's Monday, so we won't have the Raiders-Lions game, but whoop-de-doo, I don't really care to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders, who sneaky or don't have as bad of a record as I thought.
They
You could have convinced me they were 0-7.
Yeah, I think they're definitely they clearly have talent on offense. Like
Mhm.
Josh Jacobs is a good running back. Devontae Adams is a top 3 receiver in the league. Like period. End of story. But I think they just don't have any of, the other players on the roster.
All the outside pieces are just
exactly
bad.
around there. And then Max Crosby is very good, and Marcus Peters, his corpse, I think, is playing corner, I think, still. So
I believe so.
they have some solid pieces, but they just don't have anybody. And the thing is about
I mean, if you look at their lines, it's awful.
Oh, yeah,
D
that's-
line.
yeah.
Well, I know Max Crosby, but besides that, D line, offensive line, no bueno.
yeah. And they're going up against the Detroit Lions, who have one of the best run defenses in the league. So Josh Jacobs isn't going to be able to go anywhere, which means they could just double Devontae Adams the entire game.
And the Lions are pissed.
And the Lions are very mad after getting pantsed by the Ravens. Yeah, and this is in Detroit too, I believe.
Yep.
So this should be a bloodbath for the Lions.
But anything can happen.
anything can happen
as it's happened all season.
Exactly.
And we're going to rapid fire through some of these games because we have a game that we're going to do or a little draft we're going to do later. So first game, Bills beat the Bucks 24-18. Kind of what you kind of expected, except I didn't expect it to happen in that fashion.
The Bills, yeah, the Bills don't look great still. Maybe we're just underestimating Tampa Bay's defense, but like they just still look like they're kind of just like, they're fine. They don't look like they're going to win the Super Bowl. They
The,
look like,
the problem is like the Bills got up big and almost blew it
yeah,
at the end of the game, and that's
Yeah.
what's concerning because like cool you got up big, but you need to be able to sustain it, and then you're
Exactly.
kind of like the Bucks had a legitimate chance to win that football game towards
did.
the end.
If
well,
Godwin turned around,
yeah, if
Mhm.
Chris Godwin decided to turn around and not have stone hands, he could have actually just turned around and caught it.
Yeah,
So-
and then it would have been
That would have been a whole different story.
yeah, exactly. So again, Bills don't look great, but I mean, you got to get wins in the football league.
Yeah.
And I'll turn the mic over to Peter here to talk about
Oh yeah.
the MetLife off or
the mid off.
The battle for New York,
Yeah.
which was just two toddlers fighting, but neither of them were even in the same room. So that was Giants Jets. Please never air this game again. I said this about Washington, and I'm going to say this. I think I'm just saying this about Giants games now at this point. Just stop airing them; they're not good. The Giants were just completely beat up. They had so many injuries across the board. Jets, I think they also had some key. Well, obviously they had a key injury to Aaron Rodgers, but it was.
I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal though.
Yeah, it's just
Zach Wilson is him.
he looked like trash.
Let's
I
not
know
drink the
he's so
Kool-Aid
bad.
He
here.
looked like trash. Garrett Wilson had a great game. He pretty much, I wouldn't say he torched Deontay Banks. He had some very good routes against him. But I mean, that's going to happen when a rookie corner goes against a vet like that. Well, not even a vet, but like just a very good player. Tommy DeVito had to come in for the New York Giants after Tyrod Taylor got hurt yet again. I feel so bad for this guy. He gets hurt at any possible chance.
I think Tyrod needs to start training for the flag football Olympics.
He does.
Just because he can maybe make some type
Yeah.
of career in that sense, so he doesn't get hit.
I know. It's so sad because it's like right when you think, oh, he's going to be good, then he gets hurt again. Just like a bad injury. It's like, God, come on.
I mean, this is the same guy who got a punctured lung.
Because somebody decided to take like a 4-gauge needle and stick it directly into his lung
Yeah.
instead of, his rib.
You can't make some of this stuff up. Like
Yeah,
it just happens.
It's
to him.
so unlucky. And it was right where people were thinking like, oh, maybe there'll be a little bit of quarterback controversy, whatever. No, he's out. I'm like, cool. Anyway, Tommy
And I can
DeVito.
promise you, there's no Tommy DeVito, Daniel. Jones
Tommy
controversy.
DeVito finished with -1 passing yards. I think that's the worst since like 1998 or something like that. The fact that that wasn't the record still shocks me.
I was going to mention, I do think I didn't really like what Dayball did with him when he was in the game because watching those clips towards the end, I just like they didn't even open up the playbook at all, and I understand sort of why, but I feel like
It was way too cautious.
I feel like with your third string in, if you let the training wheels off and you just let him throw and he throws an interception and it ends the game,
whatever.
so be it. You're 2-5 before the
With
game.
losing in the fashion that they did, where
They threw a flat to Saquon on like
it was
first
second
on
and 22,
Yeah.
and they threw a 4-yard out route.
Yeah,
It's like, what was the point of that?
They're-
You got 4 yards, and that's 3rd and 18.
and it wasn't as if Tommy went through his
DeVito.
reads
Yeah.
and
he just immediately
decided-
threw it there.
he just immediately threw it there, and I just don't understand why you wouldn't. Like if he throws a game-costing interception, Giants fans are going to be like, "God damn it! I knew our third-string quarterback didn't have what it took." Like,
It's like, no duh. He's
Yeah.
the 3rd string quarterback. He's there to try to be a band-aid on like an artery bleed. Like, it's not supposed to be good.
the only reason
Um,
he's there instead of another like veteran is because they're not going to put like Carson Wentz or Colin Kaepernick and make him the third
Yeah,
string,
no.
even if they're better than
Exactly.
this guy.
Yeah.
Like they're just going to make another guy who's fine for the locker room.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like they choked it away, but as I've said, I'd never trust the New York Giants with the lead ever. I've been screaming this till the day I die. Never trust them with the lead ever. I mean, because like my whole thing is like, I mean, Graham Gano had 2 shanks. I mean,
Most
that's-
wanted man in New York right now.
I mean, granted, the weather was god awful. I mean, this game was just overall terrible. The Giants' defense looked pretty good. I mean,
And mind you, this is 13-10 football game.
it is a 13-10 football game. I mean, it was a defensive. Everybody kind of like had a feeling it was going to be a defensive game, but the Giants' defense
I don't really
honestly
feel like it's a defensive game. It's more of a lack of offensive game.
lack of offensive, but the Giants' defense did actually do pretty solid. I will say, like Kayvon Thibodeau, everyone's saying like he's a bust, he's bad. He had like 3 sacks in the game, and like was
Yeah, he's been really good.
he was really good. Dexter Lawrence is still, I'd argue, probably top 2 defensive tackles in the league. He was unreal. He was in the backfield all the time.
Second to Jalen Carter.
Sure, whatever. Micah McFadden, very solid inside linebacker that we picked up last year in the draft. Yeah, shut the.
Uh-oh. We got him.
Yeah, you can clip me on that one.
We got him.
I don't care. What am I going to curse the Giants more? They're already bad. All right.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like, I already cursed the Giants. I cursed the 49ers, and now I'm trying to come over to the Eagles. All right. I just want to have fun. Okay. Please just let me watch a team win for the love of God.
No, you're not allowed
All right.
to have that.
Stay far away from the Eagles.
Yes.
But yeah, long story short, Giants are bad. Giants are still bad. Just get a good draft pick, get an O lineman. Just I don't know.
Sneaky, the Jets are 4-3, which
Jets are
is
4-3.
with Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers can throw the ball, which is insane.
So they're coming back. But
Yeah,
quickly moving on to Jaguars Steelers.
that was a nothing burger.
Yeah.
nothing,
Kenny went down.
Nothing.
That's it.
Kenny Pickett went down. George Pickens had a really cool hurdle.
Yeah.
Travis Etienne's good.
Yep.
And I would say the Jaguars have just like established themselves as a class of the AFC. This felt like a game where like frisky Steelers at home, they could maybe beat you. Nope, you just
Jags are still just
you
good.
handle your
Mhm.
business, you cover the spread, and
Whatever.
now you're have the second best record in the league.
Whatever.
Right here under my notes for Eagles versus Commanders, I have a picture that says, "Oh boy, I'm excited to watch my favorite team play." Then a really long bar, "I'm gonna kill myself,"
Yep.
and a little tinier bar that says, "Nice, we won," because that's exactly what describes my feelings watching the Philadelphia Eagles play football. Because I was really excited coming in the week because we just beat the Dolphins. I was like, we're gonna beat out of the Commanders, and I was like, this is gonna be great.
And
we're
it didn't happen.
and I was like,
Every
because our
week.
schedule is so hard. And I was like, we beat a really good team. There's gonna be a bad team, and then we have a harder schedule. So like, the Eagles are gonna come out today. They're gonna destroy the Commanders. And it's gonna be great. And that's exactly what didn't happen. The
Oh.
Eagles looked horrible.
We make Sam Howell look like he's good.
Sam Howell was
Ham Sowell. I'm part of the Ham Sowell fan club.
put that on a pin. I don't even know what I was saying. Sam Howell looked like Tom Brady for a little bit of time. Terry McLaurin looked like Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Then the Eagles start coming back. They start playing like the better team. And then by the end, I was like, nice, we won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, AJ Brown actually looked like Calvin Johnson
Yes,
throughout that
he
game.
did.
Let me make that
AJ
clear.
Brown is very good at football.
Yeah, he's still really good at football. Yeah,
just-
that's really it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Eagles 38-31. It's a good win for them. I think
The Commanders are the first team to counter a tush push.
Yes.
Mostly because it was a bad snap, but whatever.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
throw that. We don't need to worry about that.
what was really fascinating is the Eagles came out of a tush put set
And they ran the
a
counter.
sweep,
They
and
ran the counter, yep.
Yeah. And that's really fascinating because me and my dad have talked about this before. Like, what if they fake tush push? Because
Yeah.
you can't
There's no way you can defend it
you can't instruct your defense to like not take the tush push seriously
because they're just going to
because
get the yard.
you will let up 10 yards.
Yeah.
Because they can get 3 on the play pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
So
They just keep pushing. Like, I mean, Jason Kelsey is literally going to be like asphalt by the end of it. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to get 10 yards.
he said on his podcast, he says, it doesn't really hurt. It's just a squeeze.
Yeah.
And you just keep driving your legs.
Well, if you've seen the Kelsey documentary, you've also seen he's like basically a bionic man. He's had like surgery on every single joint and has arthritis in every single joint. Like,
one day he's going to be like hyping up the crowd before a game when he's retired.
He's
and
gonna
he's
be
going
like,
to
"Oh, my knee."
he's never going to be able to move again.
yeah.
But yeah, good win by the Eagles at the end of the day. They showed a lot towards the end that was just like better football play.
Last 7-1 team.
Yeah, last
Yep.
7-1 team. It's just so funny that Eagles fans, and I'm fallen into this category sometimes, we're just frustrated with how their Eagles are playing, and they have the best record in the league, and it's by 1.5 games.
You are so entitled.
I know.
You are
great.
so entitled. I hate you.
What's fun is too, like, they're just beating teams because they simply have more talent. It's not because they're actually like playing
Yeah.
cleaner football. They're
Yeah.
just better.
Yeah, it's just the high end talent literally bailing them out. Like the one throw that Jalen Hurts threw to AJ Brown, it like wasn't a great throw.
No, it
it was
wasn't.
really good defense, but AJ Brown just went,
mossed
okay, let me just palm this ball real quick and then tap my 2 feet in the corner of the end zone. It's like there's nothing you can do against that.
Yep.
Like throw that ball 10 times. He probably only gets that like 4 times. But that was one of the 4 times
Yep.
that he got it. Like, sorry, that's just
It's
how it
just-
works.
Yeah, when you have more talent, you win football games.
You
And
just win.
The
Yeah.
Eagles continually are just not this game particularly, but they're just dominating on the lines.
Yeah,
And there's just when you're usually bad teams don't have good lines, and
they can just maul.
Eagles can just punish them because if you have a bad D line, Jalen Hurts is gonna have forever to throw,
Mhm.
and if you have a horrible offensive line, your quarterback's gonna be running for his life.
Exactly. So
Moving on to Cowboys Rams. I feel like this is a typical middle of the season win for the Cowboys. It's like
they'll blow a bad game
Yeah.
out, whatever.
it's like a meddling like team that's kind of like the vibes aren't really good, and the Cowboys just come out like kick it out of the Rams, and then
that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
Like whatever. Okay. Moving on.
It's like
Yep.
on the cycle. We are here.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, they beat a bad team, then it's their season, and then it's their year, and then it's whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
cares?
Vikings beat the Packers, and that's not really relevant. What is relevant is Kirk Cousins
Yeah,
torn
Rip.
Achilles.
confirmed.
Just looked exactly like how Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles.
Honestly, worse because it was
Yeah.
completely non-contact. He was
Yeah.
literally just trying to put his heel down, and then you just saw
Mhm.
the entire calf pop, and it's just like, good lord. It's so because he legitimately had a shot at being an MVP this year. Like the stats wise, he did. He was
Yeah.
like first, second, third in like every category, and like obviously, I'm not saying he was the definitive MVP before this ended. It's not like a Carson Wentz situation where like he was the MVP
Yes.
and then like gets hurt.
Thanks for the Carson Wentz love.
Yeah, no, he
appreciate that, buddy.
100% was as a. I'm a Giants fan, all right. I know I'm a 49ers fan. Let's be real here, okay? We all know what's going on here. I'm just in Stockholm syndrome. But Carson Wentz was the MVP before he got hurt and then had the full downfall. But yeah, I think that Kirk Cousins had a shot because then what? Justin Jefferson was going to be able to come back eventually off of IR. I mean, Jordan Addison looks incredible.
They've been able to string some wins together.
They were stringing some wins together. They beat the piss out of the Packers in
Mhm.
this past game. The Packers looked awful. the
They've
entire
not. They've not looked good this season.
No, they look terrible, but that's a different story. But yeah, I think Kirk really did have a shot this year because I mean, all of us knew that Jordan Addison was going to be good as Pitt
Mhm.
fans. Like we had seen his high end talent. Nobody else.
Remember, he was the best receiver in the country at Pitt.
He was
Yeah.
the best receiver in the country at Pitt, but then
Not
suddenly,
at USC.
suddenly he goes to USC, and then he's not as good.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Caleb Williams is a fraud.
I wouldn't go that far.
Don't say that.
I was gonna say Lincoln Riley's a fraud, but
Well,
whatever.
that too.
But yeah, and I think KJ Osborne was also doing like really well too. And it was just like, oh, it was gonna be like finally the trio was gonna be together. They were gonna have Jefferson, they were gonna have KJ Osborne as like the big jump ball guy, and then Addison is kind of like your slant go deep ball threat.
Yep.
And then he just tears
Because
his
you wouldn't
Achilles.
believe it. The Vikings are 4-4
Mhm.
after the abysmal.
Start.
Weren't they like
to the
0-3 to start?
Yeah.
Yeah,
0-4. No.
And then they went one.
they've won 3 straight.
They won 3 straight
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So they were at 1.1-4.
yeah, they were.
Which
Yeah.
is a horrible start, and now they're 4-4. Way completely in the hunt because it's Eagles, Cowboys, Seahawks, Niners, Lions, and then the NFC South with a couple 4-4 teams. So they're right in the mix there, and
Yeah.
I don't even know who is their backup quarterback.
It's a rookie,
Yeah, I feel like that's a
Ruh-roh.
team that needs to make a trade.
Jameis Winston.
They are talking to
There's,
get
there's a
Jameis.
lot of talks that Jameis Winston might be going to Minnesota.
All I'm saying is Carson Wentz needs a job.
I'm
Jameis Winston is a better Carson Wentz.
I'm
right?
That's
sick.
true.
I don't want to keep talking about Carson Wentz, but
Don't you dare say Carson Wentz.
it feels like this is
I just gave him so much credit, and you're going to say that this current Carson Wentz should be starting in the NFL.
I think if there's any time that you
Jesus
are going to
Christ.
give him one last chance after he's been certainly humbled by not being on a team, has probably just been working on his game since then. I
Bro,
feel like you got to at least give him a tryout.
why would you not try to go for Jameis Winston? He is a better Carson Wentz.
Because
Right
I don't like I'm curious what it's going to take to trade for him.
now. Probably not that much.
Yeah, but like, what would you say? Like, what would you say?
I don't know, like a third.
Do you like? Would you rather give up a third though for Jameis or like give a Carson Wentz an experiment? It's tough because you're at the trade deadline.
I know.
But
it's like my
you-
thing is like
At 4-4, you cannot waste.
at this point, why not do both?
I
Good.
would agree.
Well, at this point, because like, what do you have to lose? Like your season's basically over if you can't get a quarterback at this point. So like, why not?
Sneaky. I don't feel like Josh Dobbs has been that bad this year, and the Cardinals aren't playing him anymore. Just
That's always an option. Josh Dobbs. I saw some
which
people
I was
saying
going to talk about when we got to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh Dobbs is out of Cardinals now. They're just done with him.
yeah, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah.
The whole Andy thing from Toy Story. And
Which granted, I've not watched a lot of Josh Dobbs films, so I don't really know if he's playing bad or not. But like,
he's playing fine.
yeah, he's playing fine.
I think he played himself into a backup role or a like temporary starter, like the
Mhm.
Vikings. Yeah. Also, I saw a lot of people saying Trey Lance too. Like,
Oh,
maybe
no.
trade
No,
for him,
no,
but
no,
like
no.
he's
Trey Lance
way
is
too
a-
unproven.
Trey Lance is the third string quarterback of the Cowboys,
Cowboys,
right
yeah.
now, and they
Yeah.
don't even have a first string.
I don't think he's even
quarterback, so-
suited up for a game yet.
They don't have a first string.
You're right.
You know what? I hate you Eagles fans, but goddamn, I love hating Dallas so much. Oh, it's so good. All right, Titans Falcons.
Titans Falcons.
Free
They
Bijan.
looked so much better. That be the Titans with Will Levis. Like just so more exciting.
He was throwing
team.
bombs.
Like I'm not sitting here
Is
saying
D
like,
Hop back?
I mean, I don't think he ever left.
yeah.
I think Ryan Tannehill just isn't a great quarterback
Yeah, that's
anymore.
true.
And again, Will Levis, like 19 of 29, 238, 4 touchdowns. Like, it's a good game. It's not like they were asking him to do a ton, but it just was so much more exciting than watching Ryan Tannehill play quarterback. And it just makes me question, like, they just had no reason to play him the entire year. And it just shows me that, like, Mike Vrabel has a little bit of like the Bill Belichick tendency in him a little bit, where it's just like
he's a little bit stubborn,
and it's just like play your dude.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Will Levis is great, but clearly this game you had way more dynamic quarterback in the football game. That's why you won.
I think truly one of the big things about, like, the big knock on Ryan Tannehill is that he was like a game manager and like he didn't really like win games. And I think one of the big things that allowed the Titans to win this game is because of how different of a quarterback Will Levis was. Because, I mean, like, going into this game, they're probably not preparing for Will Levis to come in at all, at least I'm assuming. And then just having that deep threat with DeAndre Hopkins, who is still good at football, having that, like, just absolute bomb threat over the top with then Derrick Henry to, like, run the rock down low. It's a really good dynamic. I think that teams are going to be able to adjust to it. I don't know how well he's going to continue to play. Obviously, he can prove all of us wrong. I would love to see him prove everybody wrong after all of the crap that happened during the draft process.
I just want to see Will Levis play the rest of the season.
I do too.
Yeah. Like, you're seeing Bryce Young, you're seeing CJ Stroud. I understand that Will Levis was drafted a lot later than that. You saw Anthony Richardson before he got hurt. Like, let the dude play.
Yeah. I think
it's not like there's other guys in Tennessee, and it's not like Tennessee's a good football team. So let Will Levis play clearly. I mean, I'm sure he will play the rest of the year now after that game, but I'm happy for him.
After the game, he had like a good interview, and the guy was like, I think somebody asked him, he's like, oh, like, how are you going to celebrate? He's like, what time is it? And the guy's like, oh, it's whatever. And he's like, oh, I got about 12 minutes to celebrate before we go and start getting ready for the Steelers for Thursday night. So yeah, this is how I'm celebrating.
I'm sure it was a little bit humbling for him too.
Like, oh yeah,
he's a guy like muscle shirts, like
yeah,
flex,
muscle shirts, big guy, big, like, I think he's got like a lot of the like the tats on his arms and stuff. It's like he's like, oh, it's like this big cool guy, and then it's like, yeah, he didn't get drafted in the first round.
Yep,
he fell all the way to the third.
And his girl left him.
Yeah,
that's her.
Well, he's up.
Well, now down. That's an L for the girl.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
funny how things change.
Funny how the turntables have turned.
There we go.
I was gonna say Falcons, just again, a meddling team. They don't believe in Desmond Ridder, even though they want to publicly say it. It's
Taylor Heineke's a better quarterback.
He is.
I think he's just more like,
he's more dynamic.
Dare I say Carson Wentz to the Falcons?
I say Carson Wentz.
I hate you too. I think Heineke's more like consistent. He's not going to be like really one of those like big, like, oh, he's going to have like this amazing game. It's like, he's just going to win. And I think, like, you know, you kind of want to experiment with Desmond Ridder, see what he has and all that. Like, you know, you got to say he's your guy. But after a certain point, it's like, look, if you want to make this season like about just working with Desmond Ridder, just do that. Don't even play Heineke.
Yeah, and they were saying a little bit it was because of the concussion stuff.
Yeah, so if it is just because of a concussion, whatever. And then, but make that clear then. That, like, hey, we're going to kind of write this season off as we're still rebuilding. We want to see what this kid has. Or if you really want to make a push and, like, make the playoffs to really build up that culture, play Heineke.
Yep.
And that's where, like, they need to decide, because their actions right now are not showing that they trust Desmond Ridder.
No.
Their actions are showing that they are using him as a game manager. And then when Heineke comes in, they're kind of like, oh, do whatever you want. Like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Then he looks really good in the offense, and the team looks really good. It's like, do you want to potentially miss the playoffs this year, but see what Desmond Ridder has? Or do you want to maybe make the playoffs and just don't care about your quarterback situation and figure it out after the season?
Yeah, like that. They need to pick a lane.
Yes.
Like, you can't do both.
I would pick the Desmond Ridder lane and just let him have it for the season, and then probably get a new quarterback. I don't believe in him, but
aren't you a ray of sunshine?
I mean, there's so many bad quarterbacks in this league. I mean, there's not really a better option, because we can just go down the list of teams that have horrible quarterbacks, and we'll just move on to the next team, the Patriots, a horrible quarterback.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Mac Jones is back, and it's like, no, he's not.
He hit the Gwitty on on TV, and then he's
Willy Wittying.
Oh god, that was so painful to watch. much.
I thought that was so
Him
funny.
and Jaceki, bro.
Dude, those two need to be put in prison for those grades. Those
That's
were
domestic
horrible.
terrorism.
Literally.
I'm
Like,
not even sure what Mac was doing. It wasn't like what Gesicki was kind of doing was the gritty.
his is like he always does that like as a joke though, because like, you know, it's like, oh, he doesn't have any rhythm, he doesn't know how to do it, and like that's like his thing. But Mac Jones flying in the corner with
Oh my
a way
God.
worse, like I don't even know what it was, even I don't even know what you would call that,
I don't know either.
but it was just like, that's disgusting, get out. Like, no.
Dolphins beat the Patriots by 14. That's exactly,
Was anybody surprised?
Yeah.
No one. That's exactly what everyone expected.
Yeah, who
If you told
cares?
me this was the end of the score, I would have been like, sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Anyway.
Saints beat the Colts. I cannot believe the Saints put up 38 points on the Colts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
38.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch a whole lot of this game.
Can't say I did either.
I mean, it's kind of just like the Saints have a good defense, but I mean, I guess Minshew was working the ball as I'm like pulling up stats right now to kind of like even see what was going on. Yeah, Derek Carr. Oh wait, what? Derek Carr was 19 for 27 for 310 yards
Yeah.
and 2 touchdowns. I guess Olave is also good at football too.
Too
But
bad
no,
he's
it's
gonna
just
be
a-
like
we did a
his
wee
CT
bit.
is gonna act up with all the hits he'd be taking.
Yeah, Olave. Or well, oh no, it was Rashid Shaheed. This
Yes.
was his big game. He had 3 receptions he had the Randy Moss game where he
Mhm.
had 3 receptions for 153 yards and a touchdown. So he was just catching bombs
Just
over
bombs
the top.
away,
That's
right?
I said Olave, I meant Rashid Shaheed. Michael Thomas had 4 catches. He's irrelevant.
Nah.
Who cares?
He had one good season,
He had one good season,
and then he fooled us all.
Alvin Kamara is a PPR machine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really about it.
Jonathan Taylor's finally getting like significant snaps. Just cool to
Mhm.
see him back.
Yeah, it's great to see him back in the league.
Yep. Saints now tied for the first in that division, which is
Yeah.
interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Also, Josh Downs, the rookie receiver for the Colts, is good at football.
He is good at football.
yes.
Who is also maybe now good at football is Bryce Young. Actually had his-
Let's not.
Uh,
Let's
yeah,
not
jump
be a
the
little
gun
too
here.
hasty.
This is a big step in the right direction because Bryce had been playing really
Okay,
good.
let's settle down. He put up 15 points.
Yeah.
It's a good step in the right direction.
Okay.
He didn't make mistakes. He wasn't dynamic, but he didn't make mistakes, and that's a good start.
Okay.
And I mean, for his confidence to beat C.J. Stroud, it's got to feel at least a little bit good.
I mean, no. I love memeing on him and whatever, but I am happy for him that he is succeeding. He's not going to go completely defeated in his rookie season, even though the Panthers are bad. I am very happy that he got that win, he got that thing under his belt, and you're right, he beat C.J. Stroud. And it's like this guy's getting all the hype, and it's like, no, I'm still good too. Yeah,
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, so I'm definitely glad for him. I mean, look, it's a step in the right direction, but let's not forget, it's a step in the right direction after going the wrong direction for like 300 miles. Like, he's still got a long way to go.
Bro's out of gas.
Bro is almost out of gas, but look, he's going the right direction now. So let's pray to any god that he can figure it out.
I did this whole bit last podcast, so I don't want to be being that guy. But this is a bad loss for the Panthers. Bad
Oh
win
my
for the
God.
Panthers.
Oh,
Shut
They had
up.
the number 1 pick locked up. They could have just drafted Caleb Williams and not deal with this Bryce Young
Why?
guy.
Oh,
And they could have
God.
easily lost to the Texans. The Texans are a decent team. They tried too hard.
They don't have their first round pick, bud.
The Panthers?
No.
The Bears do.
Oh, shoot. You're right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Great win,
They
Panthers.
yeah.
Carolina's back.
Oh my
Bryce Young
God.
is him.
Bryce Young's
I forgot. I forgot the whole Bears thing. This is terrible for the Bears.
It's awful.
The Bears had Caleb Williams
The
locked
Bears
up.
had Caleb
And Marvin
Williams.
Harrison.
And Marvin Harris.
They had a dynamic duo. And then,
Man, it's
wow,
gone.
this feels bad. I'm sorry, Bears fans. This is horrible.
Yeah, they're down atrocious. But
They got to get like a sniper in there to take out a few.
Okay.
settle down.
Okay,
You
Sean
know
Payton.
the
No more
play where,
bounty
like,
gate.
a weird, awkward injury happens and they cut to a guy like.
Oh yeah,
far-
yeah.
They need
It's the
something like
turf
that.
monster.
Yeah, turf monster.
Yeah.
Seahawks beat Browns 24-20. This game looked so bad in the beginning.
It was
for
a
the Browns.
very ugly game. I mean, Seattle looked like fine. I mean, like they're obviously they win games. Like I want to make that very clear. Like Seattle is a good football team. They actually just added Leonard Williams to their team. They got him from the Giants for a 2nd and a 5th. Thanks for taking that $30 million cap hit, you morons. So they're definitely a good team, but I think if they're trying to win now, like that's a good trade. They looked pretty good. JSN, their rookie receiver, good at football. Geno had 2 bad picks at the beginning, but he bounced back and he was able to kind of lead them down there. Showed a lot of grit there. But I mean, the Browns, it's like, look, the Seahawks defense is good, but like they're not like world beaters. Like you should have been able to put up more than 20 on them.
It's these quarterbacks that are playing right. Deshaun Watson's not been great.
No,
but these quarterbacks are significant, still downgrades from Deshaun Watson, and I think you can tell a little bit. Like the Browns' offense just doesn't have, especially with Nick Chubb out. It's actually kind of sad. I'll give the Seahawks credit; they're 5-2 now.
Yeah, they're 5-2. They're winning the West.
Leading the West.
Yeah,
and they might be the second best team in the NFC.
I believe so.
Right now,
yeah.
Maybe you give that nod to the Lions for second best, but I mean they're right in the mix right now. And if you said right now that the Seahawks would be winning the division, people would think you're crazy because the 49ers have fallen off. But
they fell off hard.
Yeah, and
sorry
in a second. But I will say the Seahawks, they're fighting hard. I just don't know. It's kind of like the Ravens situation where I'm just kind of like,
do they have the talent to go all the way?
Yeah,
like,
and I'm not sure. Like,
I don't know.
DK Metcalf is cool, but I don't think he's like a high end wide receiver one.
Like he's good when he's not like an MMA fighter beating the crap out of like a random defensive back like 40 yards away from the play.
Yeah,
like he's pretty good.
Their offensive line is like, eh.
Yeah.
Geno's like, eh.
Yeah, they're like
their running back's good, and their defense is like not good.
It's like, well, Witherspoon's good.
What would you call their defense below or above 50 percentile?
I would say slightly above.
Okay,
slightly, not a lot.
Yeah,
like not like, yeah, I wouldn't say they're top 10 by any means.
To be relevant, you really need to have a top 10 defense.
Yeah, I'd say they're like right around 14, 15. I think.
Yeah. So,
although they could also be better, we could just be dead wrong. I'm not gonna pull up the stats.
Yep, and the Browns. The significance of losing this game is there's now 3 4-3 teams in the AFC North.
Jesus Christ, that
division.
And
the team that leads it is
Baltimore.
Is Ravens at 6-2, Steelers 4-3, Browns 4-3, Bengals 4-3.
God, how is it every year this division is just the exact same?
I don't.
It never changes.
It's always like this.
No matter what players are playing in that division, it is always a bloodbath every single year.
And it's just funny because it happens in so many different ways, right? Like, okay, the Ravens are just good. The Bengals start off, they're horrible. Then they win 3 straight games against like good, decent, solid opponents.
The Steelers just pull wins out of their ass that they should not be winning at all.
Yeah, they just put up 10 points against an okay Jaguars defense.
Yeah, or like,
but they beat the Ravens.
They beat the Ravens because apparently it's like whenever TJ Watt scores a touchdown, they win. Like that's like basically how it works.
Browns took down the 49ers.
Yeah.
Then lost to the Colts.
Yeah.
Oh no, they won the Colts.
They won against the Colts, but then now they just lost against the Seahawks.
It took like God to win that game.
Well, refs, but whatever.
And then
isn't that God in the NFL?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, no, that's Roger Goodell.
Oh my bad. You're right.
So the Browns barely win, and then the Browns lose this. It's just like all over the place, and like it's gonna change. Like every week, it'll just be an evolving situation.
I can't wait. Can somebody look up?
I might say that Bengals can pull it out this division off the win. Yeah. So we'll move on from there, Kai. Well, I do want to talk about the next game, which is the Bengals and 49ers, because the Bengals, again, they're back. They're coming back. Here come the Bengals.
Just one more thing. Steelers Ravens last game of the year. That is going to be a bloodbath. I don't care.
Because the Ravens are going to be playing for seeding in some capacity, probably with the Jaguars.
And
Chiefs.
Now the Bengals are also going to be in this.
Yeah, the Bengals beat the 49ers. 49ers are skidding a little bit, don't get me wrong.
They really
49ers are still a good team. This is a good win by the Bengals. And Joe Burrow looks healthy.
Yeah, after their mandatory 4 games of being bad sentence every year, they are back.
Bengals fans are like, we're so back right now.
We're so back. Yeah, they legitimately do look back. Joe Burrow, I think, finally is healthy, which why didn't you just rest him the entire time if you were going to lose these games anyway? I don't get it. Whatever. They look good. They beat the crap out of the 49ers.
Brock Purdy's insanity run is over.
Well, Brock Purdy looked like he legitimately, like, I'm not even trying to make a joke. He probably looked like he was concussed for part of that game.
Yeah.
Like, because he went through concussion protocol, he cleared it, but then there was...
I was so confused when I saw him, like, come out for the snap. I just figured Sam Darnold was playing.
That's what I thought,
I don't know why he went out.
Like, I don't know. And, like, he cleared it at the beginning of the game, or, like, before the game. And then partway through, it was like, he was not playing well, like, at all.
Yeah.
And it was, like, very obvious that there was something off with him. Because, like, we know what Brock Purdy, like, his whole shtick is that he throws on time, he throws it to the right spots, and like it's perfect for the Kyle Shanahan scheme. And like not everybody can do that, and he can. But then he's just like making horrible reads. Like it was one of the picks where he threw. It was like there was a linebacker right in front of him, and it gets like tipped, whatever. Okay, it's a great play by the linebacker. Next one, it's like 10 yards down the field, and he throws it to a Cincinnati defender who's standing in front of the receiver. It's like
Right on. Right
why?
on.
Why would you throw that? Like why? You're not even forcing it. There's no one to
Yeah.
throw it to. Like it doesn't even make sense. So that was just like I found that really, really weird.
Yeah.
So I think they got to figure some stuff out.
Yep. Christian McCaffrey, 17 straight games with a touchdown.
These got death taxes on McCaffrey anytime.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. He will find the end zone.
Well,
Whether
I
you
wonder
like
what
it or
is. Raj, you want to do a little research?
Minus
real quick
110.
for next game?
Probably minus 110.
Look it up.
not.
I think it needs to start being like minus 250
At this
for
point,
the
yeah.
betting odds.
It's 17 games in a row.
Yeah. Like, are you going to be the one that bets him to not have it?
That'd be crazy.
I think you should. I think there should be a bet for CMC not to get a touchdown.
Yeah, that like CMC like non-scoring,
Mm-hmm.
like that should be plus odds.
Yes.
That'd be insane.
It's ridiculous what he's doing. What's also ridiculous is the Broncos beating the Chiefs for the first time in 8 years.
Yeah, that was the first win they've gotten since the Obama administration, and that's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give the Broncos credit. Good for them.
Their defense finally looks better.
Yes.
Finally.
Now, that being
Um,
said, the Chiefs' offense doesn't look great.
Wait, aren't the 49ers on a bye week?
Oh,
I
okay.
can't see the
damn
odds
it.
for
All
it.
right, whatever.
Oh, it's not.
It was
CMC.
minus 110 last week.
They just
Okay.
canceled the bet. They
Yeah.
didn't want anybody to bet it. But I mean, this was supposed to be, it's the Mahomes flu game, whatever, and he looked like crap.
Yeah.
Like,
The whole team looked like crap.
it's almost like he had the flu. Like, they just did not look like they were in sync. They didn't look great.
Taylor Swift
I'm
was
not
not
here.
present. That's
Taylor
why they
Swift
lost.
wasn't present. I mean, she needs to be there. Like I understand
The Chiefs
Taylor.
are not a good football team if she's not there.
Exactly.
Look, I understand Taylor. You have a lot going on, but look, if you really care about this Chiefs team because you care about Travis Kelce, you need to be going to every single game.
Why
every
don't you
single
Hubby-
one.
come on over to
hubby
the Eagles
too.
games?
What?
Come on over and support the Eagles now. It's okay. We're the
Well,
better team.
I'm convinced the reason they're not giving DeAndre Swift running carries is because they want to stop hearing the name Swift.
You know, that's a good theory.
That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, the Chiefs, they just look out of sorts. They just like, they're going to be fine. Like, no one's really too concerned about them. If they start going on a skid, then yeah. But I mean, this was kind of just like Mahomes had the flu. It was like freezing cold there. It was like snowing before the
Yeah.
game and whatever. Like, whatever.
And like, are you going to be concerned when the team has a 2.5 game lead in the division? Like, no.
No.
That
And, like,
division's so bad. It doesn't matter.
Like, are you really worried about the Broncos sneaking up behind you? No. Like, I'm sorry, you're
Yeah.
not. Like, look, credit to the Broncos. They finally put it together. They finally won. They
We'll also just say for anyone who wants to overreact about the Chiefs right now, they still have the best record in the conference.
Yeah,
they're
it's tied
They're
for
tied
first.
for it, but they still have the best one.
yeah.
so,
So like, whatever.
no time to panic.
Yeah, it's not time to panic.
And I don't think they've played the Raiders yet.
No.
Which is going to be 2 free wins.
Yeah, basically.
So
Like, whatever.
and probably the Chargers too.
Probably. I think didn't they already?
They
play
already
twice?
beat them once. No, they only played once so far.
Oh no, yeah, because then it's after the break.
also, I hate this narrative going around now. I mean, it's not really a narrative; it is factual, but everyone's like, "Oh, Russell Wilson." They're pulling up his stats. They're like, "Really? He gets a lot of hate, and he's not really playing that bad." And I'm like, "Okay, but like,
use the eyeball test.
yeah, like look at that. Use the eyeball test and just
Look at
he came to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Had a horrible year one. They're still not having a good year here. Like, I don't care what his stats say. Like,
Yeah.
he
He was supposed to be the savior.
He's
Mhm.
part of the collective problem on the Broncos. So stop pulling up the stats and be like, "Oh, is he really that bad?" Or
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes,
is. I'm
yes.
sorry.
It's like he's not a good quarterback.
Like, and also the one that pisses me off the most is where it's like there's like so many of like the stat padding touchdowns like at the end of games. It's like, yeah, they're playing prevent defense because they don't want you to just like they want you to burn clock and get all the way down
Yeah.
the field and then just like, oh well, we only beat them by 2 scores instead of 3. Who cares?
Yep.
You lost. Whatever. Fraud.
Ravens beat the Cardinals 31-24. Again, nice, hard fought Cardinals L. They
You-
legendarily covered the spread by
That's-
kicking a field
hey.
goal.
Good teams win. Great
Great
teams
teams
cover.
sorry.
They cover.
Down 10. The line was 7.5, I believe, or 8.5 or
Mhm.
something, and they kick a field goal and it's
Yeah.
7 point. I mean, there's a reason they do it.
Yeah.
really funny thing from the game is they put Nelson Aguilar in for the onside kick. They put him on like the hands team when they put receivers to catch the
Who
onside.
thought that was a good idea?
I don't know.
Get him out. Like,
Any Eagles fan looked at that and was like,
Why?
what are you doing?
Why?
Like, what are you
because if
doing?
you don't know, they typically put people who catch the football a lot on to recover onside kicks
Because
the
they have
ball
good
will
hands.
kick up and they'll have good hands. But Nelson Aguilar has horrible hands. That like, he shouldn't be a receiver.
Wasn't Aguilar the one that dropped like the Hail Mary against the Giants?
No, he
one
just
year?
dropped a deep ball.
It
That
was
should
the deep
it was
ball
an
that,
easy
that would have
touchdown.
won the game.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
It's just it was
terrible,
just goofy. But again,
terrible.
great win, but great loss by the Cardinals. Just hard fought, playing well. I know I was going to touch back on it. Just very interesting that they were just like, yeah, Josh Dobbs, he's not playing again no matter what. They were like, we'll play the rookie or we'll play Kyler Murray, one of the two, which is
One
just
of the
very
two.
drastic options. I feel like you could play like Josh Dobbs, but also I don't know if you want to give the rookie like a 1-game run. Maybe they were concerned they were getting like too good with Josh Dobbs.
They're like, oh, we gotta start taking.
We
it.
almost became 2-6. We need to remain at 1-6.
Gotta slide back down there.
Especially after the Panthers one, they were like, "Ooh, number 1 pick."
There we go.
Us. And my biggest question is why was Bears Chargers on Sunday Night Football?
Because the NFL was running a dumb narrative over the offseason where Justin Fields was supposed to be
MVP.
good, and they scheduled the Bears for all these games, and they're like, oh my God, this is going to be a great matchup. Justin Fields will make a Jalen Hurts sleep, and next thing you know, we'll have some great Sunday Night Football games. But no one fell for the hype besides a few casuals. Justin Fields is not good at football. That team is bad. Fire Eberflus. He is a terrible head coach. And that's my Bears rant. Yeah. Burn that organization.
Well done. Chargers win, not
Yeah.
shockingly, because the Bears are like Raj so eloquently elaborated on is
They are bad.
they're just not a good football team. And there was this whole narrative out there that they were good, and they aren't. The record is 2-6. They're one of the worst teams in the league. They need all the picks they can get. They need to like get a whole new coaching staff in there. Like they need to really go head coach hunting soon to figure
Yes.
out who they want to get.
Eric Bieniemy.
I honestly, yeah. Like they should go get the enemy.
Free him from Washington.
Free him from Washington. Go get him.
But the
Sam Howell is not the
Ham-
truth, bro.
Ham Sowell.
Ham Sowell fan club.
I gave up on that
Ham
fan club when this man
No,
dropped
no, no.
31 on us.
I'm
That
not-
would make more sense.
No.
I'm still part of the Ham Sowell fan
Ham
club.
Sowell fan club.
And then we talked about Raiders Lions tonight. So interesting week of football. This is one of the more like predictable weeks. I feel
Yeah,
like
finally.
I feel like I was able to actually
Finally makes sense.
Besides, the Chiefs, but
besides like the Chiefs,
Whatever.
everything felt like okay, like things were under control versus the last couple of weeks. But the segment of the podcast that everyone was looking for,
Everybody's been
draft.
waiting for it.
as has been reported many places, in 2028, flag football will be coming to the Olympics. And today we have decided that we are going to draft our flag football teams in a snake draft format. So if you don't know how this works, one of us will start. It'll go to the other people, and we'll snake back around and make our picks. And I'm just going to go over real quickly some rules for flag football that seem like they will be adopted for the Olympics, though the official rule set's not out. So we will be drafting 2 QBs, 2 running backs, and 3 wide receivers. That'll make it 7 players for each team. Flag football is played 5v5. For running plays, you're only doing direct handoffs. There's no tosses or any like backwards throws.
Yeah.
In flag football, only direct handoffs. In this style of football, there are no offensive or defensive linemen on either team, and games take place on a field that is 50 yards long and 25 yards wide. You can have 15 players on a roster. That's not really related to us. Each team gets 4 downs across midfield, so you have 4 plays to get 25 yards. If you get across midfield, you get a new set of downs. Otherwise, you turn the ball over. But like a football, if you turn it over on downs, you get the ball wherever the other team takes the ball wherever it was down.
Mhm.
The other team would start back at their own 5-yard line. So you have to go 45 yards. And if you interception, it's the same as regular football.
Yep.
Teams are allowed to run the ball anywhere on the field besides the 5-yard area. So if you're within the 5, throwing into the end zone, you're not allowed to run the ball. And then you can't jump or dive as a ball carrier at all. You can't jump or dive. And then for blitzers, each team's defense can max blitz 2 people to rush the quarterback directly, but they have to be back 7 yards from the line of scrimmage to
Before
start.
they can go, yeah.
So that's basic rundown of
I
flag
also
football
don't think the
rules.
quarterbacks can scramble. I
They
think.
can't unless it's after a certain period of time, or they're being like
They're being blitzed.
if they're being blitzed or someone's running at them,
I see.
then they can run.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's like you could drop people in coverage, which makes it interesting because there's a lot of schemes you could do where
Yeah.
like, do you just if you have a quarterback that, I mean, we don't know other countries' quarter. I don't know the random I don't know the random guy.
Sorry, let's see what Lithuania is.
Yeah, I was
bringing
gonna
out
know
there for quarterback.
Lithuanian quarterback if he has if he can run out the pocket or not. But
Yeah.
it would be different for other teams scheming okay, Lamar, we're not gonna blitz him because we don't want him to run, so we're just gonna make him sit back and play deep coverage. But so we're gonna draft again. There's no particular order we have to draft these players in. Raj, what pick would you like to have on the snake draft?
2.
2.
Constantly in the middle.
Peter, what drafted 3 or 1?
Yeah, give me 1.
Okay, so Peter will start our draft going through. Peter, who's your first pick in the 2023 Coconut Curry Flag Football Fantasy Draft?
All right, it has to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, going for a quarterback, number 1.
You gotta because here's my thing is with Mahomes, we've seen him so many times have players that aren't as great, and then he just completely elevates them to be incredible. Look at Marvez Valdez Scantling, MVS, McCole Hardman, just so many of these random receivers look great.
Also, great locker room guy.
Great locker room guy. I mean, he's already got 2 MVPs under his belt. He's established. He's he's gonna be the face of the team. He's your guy.
And I mean, I think when if blitzers are coming at him, right?
This dude can sauce time. Yeah. He's your guy.
Waddles out of the pocket and then just slots the ball.
Yeah, he's your guy.
Yeah,
he's your guy to lead
for sure.
Yes.
All right, Raj, number 2 pick.
I'm gonna go with AJ Brown.
Okay,
all right. It's got a skill guy.
Yeah, great skill guy. My only concern with AJ Brown in flag football is I think he has a lot of his great receiving skills from playing through contact, which is very minimal in flag football.
That's fine. He can just stand there and he can throw it up to him.
You're gonna draft the Eagles roster, aren't you? Oh my god, I just realized that. I'm sorry.
I gotta take them. Fortunately, my number 1 guy is still on the board, and that's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Gonna take him, and then
that's very valid
because I think wide receivers are such at a premium. I'm also going to take Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really have to explain that much. I think Justin Jefferson offers a little bit more of a dynamic.
Jetta's and Tyreek Hill is so unfair.
What?
That's so unfair, bro. Thinking about some guy having to line up in cover 2 against Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill is insane.
Who's never had much experience playing football.
Who's a teacher. I'm sorry. That's so funny to me.
And then Tyreek's backflipping and Justin Jefferson hitting the gritty.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's grittying into. Yeah, then you just see Tyreek Hill doing the backflip in the background. It's how. Whatever. It's fine.
There's a lot of things you can do creative running with them. Yeah. Short cross. Justin Jefferson's a better pass catcher, high point receiver than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's just faster than everyone else. So 2 great receivers there. Mm-hmm. Those will be my 2 picks. And then Raj, back to you. AJ Brown at the board. Who do you go for?
I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase.
Okay. I really thought you were about to say Jalen Hurts. I really did.
Another good receiver.
Another very good receiver. My only thing was he's also another one of those kind of physical.
Yeah.
He's a smaller AJ Brown.
Jamar feels like a very great all around receiver, but I can't pinpoint one thing he does exceptionally well.
He's just good at. He's a 90. He's a 90 at everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's not the best at anything. Yeah. But he's just
that's where I was Tyreek Hill is 99 speed.
Yeah. He's
and Justin Jefferson has great catch radius and just great.
So the 2 of them is unfair.
Yeah. But Jamar Chase feels like a 90 at everything, but also and same thing with AJ Brown feels like he's a 90 at everything, and also 100 strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. All right, so then I'm up now.
Yep.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes on the roster. You get 2 picks.
I got 2 picks. All right. I will be taking Devontae Adams.
Okay. Yep.
And obviously, I know that the Olympics is supposed to be in 2028, but by the time 2028 actually rolls around,
also we're for this draft, we're assuming current.
Yeah, exactly. Because by the time that it actually rolls around, there's probably gonna be some rookie that's incredible by that point. So whatever.
Or Marvin Harrison.
Maserati Marv.
I'm Caleb Williams. I'm drafting him.
Literally. So I'm sure they'll be incredible. But this is current day. I'll take Devontae. He's a route running god. Just an absolute monster. Whatever. And at my other receiver, I am going to go with something a little bit unorthodox. And I'm going to go Travis Kelce.
Oh, okay. He's not on my big board. Why the Travis Kelce pick?
Because he is one of those
besides the attention he'll bring to the sport from Taylor Swift watching flag football.
Besides that. He is like Mr. Third Down. He is like genuine, like he's probably the best route running tight end we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, okay, well, there won't be as much physicality him being a tight end. Okay, he's still 6'5", like 245, and can run better routes than damn near any other receiver and has incredible hands. Like him going up, because I couldn't get somebody like an A.J. Brown, I'm just going to have him go and just run a perfect route. And it's, oh, sorry, let's have some guy try to drape himself all over Travis Kelce. All right, let me just put both of my hands up fully in the air and just have Patrick Mahomes sauce it to him.
Yeah, and I mean, if any team tries to play zone, he's really good at going through zones.
Exactly.
And finding the soft spot. And
yeah,
I mean, with that connection with Patrick Mahomes, and
exactly.
I mean, Taylor Swift helped grow the game of flag football.
Exactly.
I mean, just a textbook play. All right, Raj, back to you. You got AJ Brown and Jamar chasing the roster. Who do you go next?
I'm gonna go with my favorite bald head, Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler's a good one.
I actually did not even think of him in my board. That's a really good. That's a really
good pass catcher, very all around solid.
Yeah, you can play him out receiver.
Very shifty. Yeah, very very shifty.
I really like that pick actually. So I'm gonna take a little peek over at my big board here because
I didn't even make a board. I'm just going off memory right now.
This is pure instinct.
This is pure instinct.
I mean, I wanted a lot more creative options here. We're supposed to have another person on the pod today to help dilute like the talent available a little bit, but
we're making super teams.
Yeah, we're making super teams. It is what it is. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
I'll take him.
There it is.
And then I will also take Devon Achane.
Yeah,
I'll take him.
Achane. Oh my god, he's so fast. He's so fast.
As my second running back, I think like Christian McCaffrey can run him out as a receiver a little bit more often, but also on plays where you just want to keep him off speed and just do a direct handoff and they might not be ready for it. I mean, just get an automatic But he's so fast, and you can do a lot of creative things.
He's so fast.
Get him in open speed. So I'll take Devon Achane for my other guy. Although there's a lot of great running backs you could do, and there's some on my list that I would prefer to have in pass catching. But CMC is so good at catching the ball out the backfield. So
who you got?
Give me Bijan Robinson.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually put him on my list either because I didn't think about him. That's a good pick.
I needed someone who can juke in the open field, and we saw what he did to defenders, and those are professional NFL players. Mm-hmm. Now imagine what he will do to a Lithuanian farmer in the open field.
We're really
bagging on Lithuania.
I'm sorry.
So many other countries.
For any of our Lithuanian fans out there, shoot us a text.
So sorry.
We'll
get you on the podcast.
Have it hop on. Yeah.
Send you a little sticker.
Send you a sticker. All right, so I'm up now. So what do I need? Running backs now?
You got Patrick Mahomes, Devontae Adams, and Travis Kelce.
All right. I am gonna go with my running back. I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. I don't know why he wasn't off the board yet.
I'm gonna be honest. I dropped the ball on my big board for running backs.
I was really wondering why you picked Achane. I'm not gonna lie. Instead of Barkley.
Well, I wanted the speed aspect. There's guys on my list, but I just didn't even list Barkley, Eckler, Robinson. I just didn't think about it when I was making my big board.
Just completely missed you. I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. Really good pass catcher, incredible speed. Not as much power, but I mean, stiff arming somebody to the ground can still happen in flag football, I believe. So whatever. Then for my second running back, I kind of want to pick somebody as a different running back, but I mean the thing is that you know what? I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs. He's kind of the same, format, kind of like a Barkley light, but he's still a very good pass catcher, still incredible in the open field, and it's kind of the same thing. But it is I think just the dynamic of both of them, it's just they're gonna be really good.
Being that we're all both maxed out in running backs, just a few notable mentions. I had Jahmyr Gibbs as a running back.
I don't trust him. I don't care.
Nope. Just because it was passing up Alvin Kamara, I had as an option.
Kamara kinda, but I feel like part of him is the patience that he has to set up blockers, and there isn't going to be any blockers.
That's true. And then I had also Breece Hall as well as a guy.
Breece Hall, I really like him as a running back, but I think his talent comes from having one good block and then he just runs straight.
True.
He's incredible at it. Don't get me wrong. He's very, very good at that. And but I think it's just if you're playing flag football, you need to be incredibly shifty. Mm-hmm. And
I also had Swift as an option because of his shiftiness. So I think we picked the running backs that were fitting in my little Devon Achane pick flyer. But speed kills.
Speed kills. Yes, it does.
I think at this point I'm at 4 people. I'll draft a quarterback and another receiver.
I thought we were only doing 2 QBs.
I don't have a
He
QB.
doesn't have one.
Oh, I thought you were wait.
You don't have a QB either, buddy.
Yeah, never mind. I
Oh,
thought we
you're-
were doing 2 QBs,
you're-
2 running backs, 2 receivers.
2, yeah.
No, never
3
mind.
receivers.
Ignore me.
3
receivers.
3 receivers. Okay,
receivers.
ignore
You're,
me.
you're up, pal.
Yeah.
You're up.
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. Give me ayahuasca
boy. Okay, that's a wild one.
I
there.
need someone who has played with every different archetype of a player. I need someone who's a visionary on the field. I need someone who sees things that we don't see.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
I need someone to motivate
Can
the
relax
team
the-
in
relax
alternate
the team
ways.
between games.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, just you're a great pick as
There it
you
is.
perfectly described. I will take Cooper Kupp as my
There you go.
my last receiver.
Yeah.
And then I have a whole entire QB board. So I'll take Josh Allen, just as a guy who can make every single
Yeah.
throw on the field. I'm not as concerned about interceptions when you're playing like man coverage, not as many safeties that can kind of come over top. So I think it's his risky side is a little bit like what he does good. What he does bad is not as
Yeah.
prevalent in like a flag football type of scenario.
Yeah.
And I mean, just no one's going to be able to, like him running around. It's just going to be crazy.
Yeah, his route running is going to be unreal.
Yeah.
Then do I need one more receiver, I think?
I need one more too.
Raj up next.
So that's
Yeah.
that's back to you,
Yeah,
Raj.
Raj, you got Aaron Rodgers,
Hmm.
Bijan, Eckler, Jamar Chase, AJ Brown. So you got a quarterback left and a receiver left.
Give me Randall Cobb.
Great, very pick.
You are a moron.
I mean, great locker room guy.
All right.
I mean, you need that type of locker room presence.
Got a lot of young players on my team. Needed to balance it out.
Cool. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs.
I was looking great up until you
I mean, Raj.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb.
I
Why?
mean, Raj, I mean, I thought your pick was great. I think you need those guys in the locker room. To really,
Exactly.
Help
Need
elevate
veteran
the team.
experience.
but when you left leaving boys like Stephon Diggs out,
He'd get too disgruntled, honestly. That's why I don't trust
that's
him.
what it is. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll
then
get.
why did you draft Aaron Rodgers?
Jesus Christ.
Ayahuasca boy is going to do wonders for this team.
Debo Samuel going undrafted is a crime in this. I'm sorry. It is.
I was considering he's on my big board, but
Jesus.
I had Reek, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. I didn't really have much room for Debo Samuel in there.
God damn.
I also want to see
Why?
Randall Cobb have an Olympic ring.
I mean,
Or an
this is
Olympic
also,
medal.
like the middle of the draft, but this is also how great the league is with talent at certain positions. I mean, we're drafting 9 wide receivers, and we're like, oh, Debo not getting drafted is criminal, and it's like there are legit. I mean, besides the Randall Cobb pick, all these guys are really good receivers.
What is
so.
like Terry McLaurin? Like,
There's a ton of good guys.
Devontae Smith,
I'll just read off some big
Yeah.
board. I think we're done with receivers, so I'll just read off some of the
Yeah.
big board.
Nelson Aguilar,
I had-
Jalen Rager.
Yeah.
Waddle, Debo, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, Garrett Wilson, Smitty as potential options that were there, and I didn't even go down. I didn't even go down all. of
Well, if
these
we had more
names.
people, it'd be different.
yeah. Okay. Oh, and then do I have one more quarterback too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Tua.
Okay.
Stupid accurate.
He is stupid accurate. Yeah.
And I mean, you got obviously he's not the greatest scrambler in the world, but again, I have a feeling that he's going to be a better athlete than whatever is going to be out there.
Mhm.
And just when he comes out on the field, it's just going to be like, all right, where do you want the ball to be? All right, I'm going to put it exactly in that spot. So
Yeah.
that's my guy.
All right, Raj.
Taysom Hill.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, just a great gadget guy.
All right. I really thought you weren't doing a meme team at first, but this
Listen, you said I could
this
draft two.
evolved quickly.
You said I could draft two quarterbacks. Taysom Hill was technically on the roster as a QB
Yeah,
right.
who can play multiple positions.
I mean, I'm just gonna take the better gadget guy in Lamar Jackson. So I can play him at running back or receiver, or at quarterback, which is his main position. So
That's
Lamar
fine.
Jackson around my team. So we're gonna put these in the description. Definitely rank your top team. We're going through real quick.
And
Raj-
tell us why Rogers is terrible.
I'm like the Seahawks. No, I'm like Russell Wilson. I have a great first half of the season, and then you see Rodgers, Cobb,
I don't
Hill.
even know, bro. You drafted AJ Brown like as your first player.
AJ Brown 1-2 is crazy.
Yep. Yep.
I think Brown could have made it to like the end of the draft. Transparently, like he
Yeah.
wasn't even on my.
Well,
big
because
board.
like AJ Brown and Jamar Chase as like a one. Oh my
Listen,
they're
Randall
good.
Cobb.
I was gonna
Right.
pick Carson Wentz first. Okay.
I thought you were going to do a
Great
meme
pick.
team with the Eagles. That would have been better. Jalen Hurts would be a better option. He can run.
No, I like this.
Oh my
All
god.
right, so going through the teams real quick, we got AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler, Bijan. Then it kind of goes downhill from here with Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, and Taysom Hill. So let us know how much you like that team in the description below. Peter's got Patty Mahomes, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Stephon Diggs, and Tua Tagovailoa. And then I've got Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Cooper Kupp, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
I think yours wins, Justin.
Yeah, I sweep.
What about my team? No.
A-Chain was a big fumble there, but
No,
but
no.
I think yours ends up winning.
When you see A-Chain fly down the field, when you have to see some what's a country I cannot make fun of?
Brazil,
Uzbekistan.
They got fast players.
Yeah.
Is Uzbekistan still a country?
I don't know.
Turkmenistan. When I see like a Colombian like cornerback
Who's like 5'2"?
who's 5'2", on A-Chain like runs right past him.
Me when the Bolivian rice farmer steps up into the pocket to blitz Jalen Hurts.
You don't even have Jalen
I just
Hurts. You drafted Taysom
When
Hill
the-
instead of him.
whatever.
When the poor guy who's been farming cows from Thailand for his entire life is told, "Hey, you're pretty fast. Go line up against Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. That's gonna look real good."
Yeah.
How many ACL tears do you think are gonna happen on that field?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
genuinely?
Yes.
Like,
I think a lot.
are they playing on turf?
I mean, probably they're
Olympics, nah.
going to be using
They'll
the
do
stadiums
grass.
that are already.
Oh, it's gonna be in LA.
Oh no, it would be grass by then. Because
Yeah.
pretty much.
Oh yeah,
every-
they have to switch them out
Pretty much every single stadium that's going to be involved in the Olympics will.
because
be
we also have the
grass.
World Cup coming.
Yeah,
We do, yeah.
because the NFL
U.S. really on top right now. With all these sporting events happening.
I thought that was going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
U.S. on top right now.
Oh, okay. Nationalism. Ugh.
Nationalism go burr.
Ugh.
The Coconut Curry podcast is really an extension of the U.S. government.
Oh yeah.
So
What you didn't know is that we're actually just like government drones.
our really good setup is funded by the U.S. government.
yeah.
Yes.
Which is why we got a chair and some boxes holding it up.
Yeah.
This is just a government contract,
Thank you,
guys.
Joe Biden, for the new tripod.
Thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, bud.
Oh my god.
Make sure you tell us what team is best in the description down below.
Vote for me, please.
Whoever was the Raiders quarterback just threw an atrocious pick.
No, not surprised.
I love how it's whoever's the Raiders
Oh, it's Jimmy
quarterback.
Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo's back.
Oh, okay.
Threw an awful pick into double coverage.
Not shocking.
Josh McDaniels' last day as a head coach.
I hope he gets fired so bad.
I don't think they can afford to fire him.
No, they can't.
Now
but
they
they
can.
should.
Now they can.
Oh, they can
Oh,
now.
they can now. Okay.
Last
okay.
season they couldn't. Now
Yeah,
they
last
can.
season they literally couldn't fire him because they didn't have the money. But anyway, that's the end of the Coconut Curry podcast. Thanks all for listening. Enjoyed doing the draft. That was fun. Shout out to Flag Football for making it in 2028 Olympics. Hopefully we'll still be podcasting by then and we can actually give the takes on
Yeah.
the U.S. players beating the crap out of
Yeah.
people who
These poor
have
guys.
who have wives, kids, and
Yeah, like
Day
everybody
jobs that aren't
get,
playing
like,
football.
actual day jobs.
Yeah.
Listen, Noah Lyles awoken a sleeping giant by making that one comment.
Yeah, you kind of did.
Shout out to Noah Lyles and Package Field. We'll see you next episode.
Go Birds!
Yeah, go Birds. I'm gonna curse them.